Okay, so we will start with raw mango cutter. If you remember, yesterday we have done till lemon crusher. Now let's start with raw mango cutter. Okay, so now quickly write down in the chat the type of lever you find raw mango cutter is. Very good. Arya, Saujanya, Shravani, Ananya. Very good. Your answer is right. Which type of lever is raw mango cutter? Yes, but only 4 of them have responded. Yes, very good, Harshita. What about others? Ananya, Harshita has responded. Yes, very good, Jagruti. Quickly draw the diagram for the same. Okay, draw the diagram for the same. It's a raw mango cutter. Okay, so here you will find that this is your fulcrum. This is your fulcrum. Okay, then the mango will be placed here. So this will be your load. Okay, and you are going to apply the force here. So this will be your effort. So please write down, this is your fulcrum, capital F, fulcrum. This will be your load, and this will be your effort. Okay, so which type of lever it comes out to be? So it comes out to be class 2 lever. And what's the purpose? So we know class 2 lever serves only one purpose, and that is it works as a force multiplier. Okay, so my class 2 lever has only one purpose. It works only as a force multiplier. Is it clear, class? So our raw mango cutter works as a force multiplier. So you should know fulcrum, load, and effort. And sometimes it happens that the mango is little hard to be cut. So what we do then what we do, we shift the mango more towards the fulcrum. Exactly. If you have tried it, you must have experienced that if you are unable to cut it properly, then what you do, you shift the mango. Assume the initial position of mango is here. Assume this is the position of the mango. So what you do, you shift your mango from initial position here and you shift it more towards the fulcrum. What happens by doing that? So you will come to know that by doing that, you are decreasing the effort arm. Sorry, you are decreasing the load arm. The effort arm will remain the same. You cannot do anything to it, but you are definitely decreasing the load arm. So obviously, a bigger value divided by a smaller value. So if the smaller value is further decreased, then your MA will increase. And that's the reason why if the mango is not being cut properly, we prefer it to shift more towards the fulcrum so that the effort arm is decreased. Remember what's the formula to find out the MA? The formula is effort arm upon load arm. Now let's proceed with the next one. This one. This is called as foot threadle. Okay, what it is called as? It is called as foot threadle. Exactly, you must have seen something like this in your sewing machine. Exactly, in your sewing machine, you must have experienced something like foot threadle. Okay, so the foot threadle. Okay, we need to understand where is the fulcrum, where is the load, and where is the effort. So now this is very interesting. Where is the fulcrum? Okay, so let me show you where is the fulcrum. So this is the fulcrum. This is the fulcrum. It keeps on moving back and forth. This is the point of, this is the fulcrum. The load is placed here. Here you place whatever you want to do, the machine which needs to be rotated here. This is the load. This is the fulcrum. And oh, I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. This is the fulcrum. This is the fulcrum. Okay, so this point from where it rotates. So this is the fulcrum. Here we apply the force from our leg. So this is my effort and that's my load. Okay, so it comes out to be like this. Here, this is your fulcrum. This is your effort and this is your load. Okay, so which type of machine it comes out to be? Yes, Jagruti, you are right. Ananya, please think, beta. This is the fulcrum. I'm sorry, earlier I said was wrong. The fulcrum is at this end. Yes, very good, Murugan. Okay, yes, Harshita. So which type of lever the fruit threadle comes out to be? The fruit threadle comes out to be a class 3 lever. Class 3 lever. Exactly. And it works as a gain in speed. We know class 3 lever has only one purpose to serve. So it is gain in speed. Where you find this foot threadle, beta? In your sieving machine. Exactly. There you find foot threadle. Okay. So that's the fulcrum. That's the effort where we apply the force from our leg. So we keep the leg on that part and we keep on pressing it. So there is where we apply the effort and the load is there on the top. So you will find that the foot threadle, it works as a class 3 lever with the purpose of gain in speed. Now, this is again very interesting. Write down hand pump. Now, identify what is hand pump. Which type of lever is hand pump? Can you say me? Very good. Very good. Brilliant. Yes. Very good. You, I think you had studied it very well. Okay. So which type of lever is class is a hand pump? So you will find it is my class C. This is the position where you find the fulcrum and we apply the force here and the load is somewhere here inside the pipe where the water has to be lifted. So this is the load. Okay, so understand, you will find that this is your fulcrum. The fulcrum is somewhere near the handle. This is your fulcrum. Okay, this is your effort. At the handle you apply the force and the water has to be lifted. So the water is somewhere here which has to be lifted up. So this is your, so your class 1 lever works as, your hand pump works as a class 1 lever. And it works as a force multiplier. Copy it, bachalo. So remember your class 1 lever hand pump works as a force multiplier. You have to draw these rough diagrams. Now this is again very challenging. It's hitting the ball with the racket. Hitting the ball with the racket. If you are playing long tennis, you generally use this. Okay. So can you say me which type of lever is this hitting the ball with the racket? Okay, nice try. Okay, but this is challenging. Okay, Saujanya has given an amazing answer. Okay. Yes, it's little difficult. Hitting the ball with the racket. The problem starts with where is the fulcrum? Okay, now you are hitting a ball with the racket like this. So where is the fulcrum? Okay, so your fulcrum goes somewhere here in your hand. This is your fulcrum, bachalo. Yes, this position in your hand exactly. That's the fulcrum because it rotates from there. Okay, and the force you exert is somewhere here near the handle. There is somewhere you exert the force and the ball will hit the racket. So here is the load where the ball will hit. Okay, so technically you will find that this is my load, this is my effort, and this is my fulcrum. Okay, can you say me now which type of lever it is? Please type which type of lever it is. And you will find it is a class 3 lever. Exactly, because when you hit the ball, the ball travels with a speed of around 100 kilometer per hour. Is it possible the ball to travel with such a high speed? It is only possible. Obviously, the force required to hit the ball is less, but we exert more force, but in turn what we get speed. Exactly, so we definitely spend more force, we definitely use more force than what is required to hit the ball, but in turn we gain speed. Exactly, that's the reason why when you hit the ball with the racket, the ball almost travels at an international level. You will find that the ball is traveling with a speed of almost 100 kilometer per hour because this one is our class 3 and it works as a gain in speed. Okay, here you have to understand where is the fulcrum. Remember, where is the fulcrum? The fulcrum is in your hand. Exactly. That's the fulcrum. Then somewhere there we apply the effort and where the ball hits, that's our load. So hitting the ball with a racket is an example of class 3 lever. Now this one is again very interesting. Using a spade. Okay. Now this fellow is using a spade and is throwing this dirt, is throwing this mud. Which type of lever it is? Very good, Anisha. Very good, Jagruti. Yes. Brilliant. Look at it how it is. Very good, Ananya, Saujanya, Ishan. Swadha, please consider, please think again. Yes, Aditya, very good. I hope you had seen both the videos yesterday. Swadha, very good. No, beta, Harshu, please think. Very good, Aditya. Very good. You should do that. Harshita, please consider. Okay. Now, the interesting part is where is the fulcrum? Because until and unless you are, see this type of spade when we use, we are lifting the dirt and we are throwing it away. Okay. We are lifting it and we are throwing the dirt away. Okay. Okay. This is not the way which was shown in the video. Remember, in the video I had shown you a person using a spade. It's not in that way. Okay. So where is the fulcrum? So you will find the fulcrum is here in the hand. This is the fulcrum. The same as the tennis racket, the same as the fishing rod. Okay, this is the fulcrum, this is the effort, and this is the dirt, which is the load. Okay, so you will find that the effort is in between the fulcrum and the load, and it is my class 3. So this is my fulcrum, this is my effort. We apply the force from here, and then here at the on the spade there is the dirt. So that's your load. So which type of lever it is? It is class 3. And if we look at the class 3 serves only one purpose. Class 3 serves only one purpose, and that is it works as a gain in speed. So lifting the dirt with a load is an example of class 3 lever. Lifting a dirt with a spade is an example of class 3 lever, and the purpose is gain in speed. Is it clear, class? All of you getting it? Okay. So let's proceed. Again, very interesting. Sweeping using a broom. Okay, so this is our broom. Exactly. You must have find people we do the sweeping with this. So which type of lever is this? Now I'm not showing you it in operation, but again, I want you to think of it that which type of machine it is sweeping using a broom. Very good, Saujanya, Swadha, Arya, Mrugal, brilliant bacha. Very good, Aditya. Yes. Ananya, just consider, just think of it. Brilliant. I'm so happy you are getting the right answers today. Okay. This is your, somewhere here you hold it. One hand you place here and the other hand you place somewhere in between. So this is where you hold the one hand. This is where you hold the second hand. And this is where your load will be. Okay. So where you hold the first hand. Exactly. This is your fulcrum. This is your effort. This is your load. Okay, it is same as the fishing rod. It is same as using the spade. Okay, obviously the dirt is not that heavy, beta. Understand? When we are sweeping, what we are moving? We are moving the dirt. Okay, do you think that is so heavy that we require it as a force multiplier? No, there we want to sweep quickly. I want the entire room to be swept quickly. Or the one who is using, he wants that the entire room or the place where he is sweeping should be done quickly. So that's why he is working as a gain in speed. So this hand, even the same principle is used in rowing the boat. The one which I have shown you the video. Okay, rowing the boat. Again, rowing the boat was an example of gain in speed. This is also the example of gain in speed, where here the first hand where you hold it, that's your fulcrum. Here you keep on applying the force, and at this end we have the load, that is the dirt, and you find that the load or the dirt is being cleaned very quick. Okay, so sweeping the room with the broom is an example of class 3 lever, and the purpose is again class 3 serves only one purpose, that is gain in speed. So our class 3 serves only one purpose, and that is gain in speed. Clear, bachcha log? I hope all of you are getting it. So let's look at now we are going to talk about the levers. Please give the heading. It's a little different heading, but still give examples of levers found in human body. Okay, these are the examples of lever found in human body. So please, under this category, you write down. I had purposely shown the diagram like this, and it is nodding the head. No, beta. What we are doing? We are nodding the head. Okay. Imagine you are nodding the head and say me which type of lever it is. No, no, nodding the head. I hope we don't want to nod it very quickly. We don't want to nod it very quickly. Okay. I'm getting a mixed reaction. Okay, okay. Chalo. So let me show you where is the fulcrum first. Because until your fulcrum is not clear, you will get confused. So the fulcrum lies somewhere here. Somewhere here will be your fulcrum. Okay. This is your fulcrum. Then the weight of this entire head, the center of gravity of the head is somewhere here. Okay. The weight lies somewhere here. The load of this is our load. And which muscles get stretched? Okay, effort. Which muscles get stretched? So this muscle gets stretched. Exactly. So if you find this is your fulcrum, this is your load, the weight of the entire head, and somewhere here is your effort. So lifting a load, lifting, no, I'm so sorry. Nodding the head. Nodding of the head is an example of class 1. And you will find that it's not a big difference. It's not as a gain in speed or force multiplier. So just the purpose is just to change the direction of force, but it's okay. We don't require that as well. But understand that the nodding of the head is an example of purpose is not applicable in this case. This is not applicable for us. Okay. But nodding the head is an example of class 1 lever. So you find class 1 lever in our body, which is that nodding the head. When you nod the head, you will do it again and again. You will find that this muscle of your body will feel the pain. Yes or no? So this is the muscle which gets stretched. Exactly. So this is your effort. The weight of your head, the center of gravity of the head is somewhere here, and that's the load, and the fulcrum is somewhere here. From here it moves. Okay. So nodding the head is an example of class 1 lever. Let's look at another example we find in our body, and that is raising the weight of the body on toes. So when you raise the weight of the body on toes, okay, raising the weight of the body is on toes is an example of which type of lever. Okay, so we need to understand that which type of lever it is. Okay, can you give a try? Mughal is saying class 1. Anisha is saying class 1. Ishan is saying class 2. Aditya is saying class 3. I'm getting mixed reaction. Harshita is saying class 2. Aryan is saying class 1. Shreya is saying class 1. Harshu is saying class 2. Arnav Pawar is saying class 2. Okay, so I'm getting mixed reaction. 1, 2, 3, all of that. Okay, now the first thing first. Where is the fulcrum? Until and unless your fulcrum is not clear, you will always confuse. So this is your fulcrum. This is your fulcrum. Okay, so this is your fulcrum, and the entire weight, of your body is acting from here. So this is somewhere here is your load. And do you know which muscle gets stretched when you do this? Try to do it. Stand and raise the weight of your bodies on your toes. The weight is being shown. Okay, you will find that your calf muscle gets stretched. This. So this is your effort. Okay, so figure out what it is. So you will find this is your fulcrum. This is the load, then the weight of your body, and this is the effort. This muscles get particularly stretched. So that's your effort. Which lever it is? Come on, those who were confused, now say me which type of lever it comes out to be. Okay, very good. It comes out to be the class 2 lever, where the load is between the fulcrum and the effort. Okay, so which type of lever it is? So it's class 2 lever. And what's the purpose? So obviously you find that you can easily lift the weight of your body on the toes. If you try to do this exercise, you will find that it's so easy for you to lift yourself up. Okay, so this is force multiply. Okay, so raising the weight of the body on toes is a type of class 2 lever in your body. Okay, and it works as a force multiplier. Is it clear, class? It works as a force multiplier. Okay. So we have nodding the head, an example of class 1. Raising the weight of the body on toes is an example of class 2. So let's proceed. This you may be aware of. Exactly. Now, raising the load of raising a load by forearm. Exactly. If you remember, if you have seen the video properly, you will remember which type of lever it is. Raising the load by forearm. Exactly. Again, mixed reactions. Again, mixed reactions. Okay. If you have seen the video properly, okay, you will find, okay, chalo, let me show you where is the fulcrum. I hope you can figure out the fulcrum very easily. This is the fulcrum. This is the fulcrum. Okay. Then somewhere in the hand, whatever we hold is the load. And do you know where is the effort applied? Which muscles get stretched? So this muscles get stretched. So this is my effort. Okay, please. It's very interesting. Okay, this muscle gets stretched. It's lifting it, raising the load by the forearm. So this is my fulcrum. This is your fulcrum, beta. Okay, then this is your effort here, and this is the load. Which type of lever it comes out to be? Come on, those who were confused, can you say me which type of lever it comes out to be? Yes. The effort is in between the fulcrum and the load. So you will find that this particular muscle is getting stretched, and this is my class. Harshu, which type of lever it is? The effort is in between. It is my class 3 lever, and it is working as a force multiplier. Sorry, gain in speed. Okay, so it's working as a gain in speed. Okay. And remember, when it is working as a gain in speed, assume you are having dumbbells in your hand. Okay, if you are doing little bit of exercise, you may be aware that assume there are dumbbells in your hand. So you require technically more force to lift the dumbbell than what actually it is. Why? Because you are using it as a gain in speed. So the motion of the dumbbells are more, and that's why you are obtaining gain in speed. So you have to apply more force than what it is. Ha beta? Ishan, type your doubt, beta. No, beta. Here, this understand. If this is the if the biceps, if you say this is the effort, the biceps is the effort, then understand. If you say this is the effort, okay. So do you know which is the fulcrum then? Then this is your fulcrum. And then the movement will be the entire motion of the hand. The movement will be the entire motion of the hand. Right now, your hand is not moving. Only this part of your body is moving. Wait a minute. I will show you what is moving. Only this much is moving. This is constant. Clear? So your this part, your fulcrum is this part, the fulcrum, the effort means only this part of your body is moving. Okay. And what you are saying, okay, that will be the possibility when, in that case, this will be your fulcrum. This will be your fulcrum. Okay. And this will be your effort. And then this will be your load. Okay. So it will be that case. Is it clear, bacha? Oh, so remember, this is the fulcrum, this is the effort, and that's the load. So interestingly, you will find that I had shown you all the three levers in our body. Raising a load by forearm is the example of class 3. Then raising the weight of the body, class 2, and nodding the head, class 3. So we have all the three examples in our body, and there are many more. Okay, but remember, this is something which is given in your textbook, so at least we should know that the three types of lever available in our body. The first is nodding the head. Okay, then the second, nodding the head, is a class 1. Raising the weight of the body on toes, class 2. And raising a load by forearm is class 3. Okay, chalo. So here we have seen all the types of lever. Now we will start solving some numericals. Okay, so let's start solving some numericals now. So let's start with the numericals. Down the first numerical. Calculate the mechanical advantage of a lever in which the effort arm is 60 centimeter and the load arm is 4 centimeter. Chalo. Start solving it quickly. The effort arm is 60 centimeter and the load arm is 4 centimeter. Type your answers. It's very simple. Very good. Yes. Arnav, what will be the unit? MA has no unit, Arnav. Arnav More, MA has no unit, beta. Please correct it, beta. What is the MA? The MA is 15 only, not 15 centimeter. Okay. So what is MA? MA is load upon effort arm upon load arm. Okay. So 60 divided by 4. The answer comes out to be 15. Okay. So what is the mechanical advantage of this? So the mechanical advantage is 15. Can you say me what is the meaning of mechanical advantage is 15? Means what? Can you say me the meaning of this? Anyone please type and say me what is the actual meaning of this. If I say the mechanical advantage is 10 or mechanical advantage is 2, or in this case the mechanical advantage is can you say me? Yes. If MA is more than 1, Aditya, it's a force multiplier. Very good. So the machine is a force multiplier. Okay, what else? Yes, Anisha, it can be used. I understand that. But what is the difference between mechanical advantage as 5 and mechanical advantage as 15? What is the difference? Both are force multiplier, but one machine is having mechanical advantage of 5 and another machine is having a mechanical advantage of 15. So what is the difference? Yes, okay. So what is the difference? I'm not still convinced with your answer. Murugal, what you said, the quantity of force that can be applied mechanically, quantity of force that can be applied. I'm getting. Anisha is getting a very interesting answer. It is the machine. Yeah, the machine applies 15 times more force than the effort. That's the brilliant answer, Anisha. All of you, what is the meaning of that? It means that the machine is multiplying your effort 15 times. Getting it? What does it mean? What is the meaning? The machine is multiplying the effort, means what we are applying, by 15 times. Okay, so understand. And if I say the mechanical advantage is 5, so the machine is multiplying the effort. Effort is something what we apply by 15 times. So whenever you want to apply less effort, okay, then you should always go for a machine which is having higher mechanical advantage. Okay, no beta, it's not about efficiency. Aditya, it's not about efficiency. Okay, more is the MA, more is the efficiency. This is completely wrong. It has nothing to do with efficiency. It is about how many times the machine is multiplying your force. Your force means effort. Okay, so understand, if I want to apply less force, okay, if I want to apply less force, then I should always go for a machine which is having very high MA. But it's okay, we are simply doing trading. So when you will apply less force, you have to apply that less force for a longer distance. And in turn, the machine will apply more force for a short distance. Okay, so that is not an issue. We know, we are already studied about that. But understand that more the MA means the machine applies more, that many times the effort. Okay, so here the machine is multiplying the effort by 15 times. I hope this is very clear now. So if you have an option, okay, listen class, you have an option of a machine having MAS2 and MAS5. Which one you will prefer? MA2 or MA5? Definitely, yes, we will prefer a machine with, yes, Swadha, Shreya, Aditya, very good. We will prefer a machine with MAS5 because it will multiply my force by 5 times. Huh. On the other hand, I have to displace the object 5 times more as well. Okay, so I will, whatever I am gaining on force, I am losing on distance. That's okay. But definitely it's okay. It's very easy for me now. As I told you, I have two options. 100 Newton force I have to displace by 1 meter. This is one option. Or instead, I am ready to displace 1 Newton of force by 100 meter. Which one will be easy for me? So obviously, which one I want? So obviously, I will prefer the second option where I am ready to apply a force of 100 Newton, whereas in turn the machine will apply a force of 100 Newton for me, and I am applying a force of 1 Newton. So if you look at this, you will come to know that this machine is having, how much is the load? 100 Newton. How much I am applying? 1 Newton. So what's the MA of this? The MA is 100. Means the machine is multiplying my force by 100 times. But in turn, look at the second concept. Here, how much is the displacement the machine is doing? 1 meter only. But how much displacement I have to do? So I have to displace 1 Newton by 100 meter. So the product of force into displacement is same. That's why we say the work input is equal to work output. Okay. I hope now it is very clear about what does the MA means. Okay, chalo, let's start with another one. Write down next numerical. A crowbar 2 meter long is pivoted about a point 10 centimeter from its tip. We have to calculate first, you have to calculate the MA of the crowbar. Okay. Chalo, first we'll find out the MA. Chalo. All of you, go ahead, find out the MA. Do you know how the crowbar looks like? Are you aware about how the crowbar looks like, beta? The crowbar is something like this. I will draw the diagram. It's something like this. It's something like this. This is our crowbar. Okay, a rod in this way, and it is said that it is a crowbar 2 meter long. So what's the length of this crowbar? 2 meter long. Is pivoted about 10 centimeter from its tip. So this is the tip, the end, and it is pivoted 10 centimeter from its tip. So where it is pivoted, so the crowbar is pivoted somewhere here. The crowbar is pivoted somewhere here. This is the pivot. And it is pivoted at 10 centimeter from its tip. This is the tip. This is the tip. Chalo, find out the MA. What's the answer? What's the MA? Very good. Anisha got it right. No, beta, हर्षु ठीक से कर हर्षु, effort arm, load arm ठीक से देख. Aditya is right. Anisha, Aditya, Saujanya, you are right, beta. Harshu, please do it again. No, Harshita, even you are wrong. Mrugal is right. Effort arm, load arm ठीक से देखो. I have made the diagram clear for you, so you can easily understand now. No, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Arya, Arnav, I am so sorry. Your effort arm and load arm is wrong. Okay, see, let me show you now how much is the effort arm and how much is the load arm. First of all, this entire crowbar is 2 meter long. But how much is this distance? How much is this distance? So this distance is 10 centimeter. How much is this distance? This is my 10 centimeter. Understand? This distance is 10 centimeter. 10 centimeter. Okay. And how much is this distance then? How much will be this distance? Do you think it will be 20? No. The entire length of the crowbar is 2 meters. So this is 10. So how much will be this? So this distance will be my 190 centimeter. I'm talking in centimeter. Let's keep the unit same. Okay. 190 centimeter, because in 2 meters there are 200 centimeters. Now this 10 centimeter is what? This is my load arm, and this 190 centimeter is what? Effort arm. Okay, please, those who get the answer as 20, please pay attention. You are confused. Okay, so what is MA? So MA is equal to effort arm upon load arm. What is my effort arm? My effort arm is 190. And how much is the load arm? Load arm is 10. So how much is the MA? The MA is coming out to be 19. Clear class? How much is MA? 19. And Ananya, क्या गलती की है तुमने? 0.2 लिख दिया तुमने. That's horrible answer. Okay. Arnav, Arya, and here Harshita and Harshu. I hope you are getting this idea now that it is not 20, it is 19, because understand the diagram. This is how the crowbar is. So this is 10 centimeter, this is 190. So how much is the length of the crowbar? 2 meters, 200 centimeters. Chalo, the second part of it, the second part of the same numerical. What is the least force? What is the least force which must be applied? Which must be applied at the other end, to displace a load of 100 kgf. Find out the force, least force, which must be applied at the other end to displace the load of 100 kg. Go ahead. Now don't make a mistake. You know MA. No, Aditya, please do it properly. It's a simple calculation, beta. You know MA na? What is been asked? What is the least force? What is that least force? Which factor it is? Which physical quantity it is, Aditya? Say me what you have to find out actually. What is the least force? Which is that? Aditya, please say, beta. What is the least force which must be? So what is that physical quantity? तुम ढूंढ क्या रहे हो? That's right, Anisha. Yes, effort. Yes, effort. So what will be the effort? So our question mark is we have to find effort. So we know MA is equal to load upon effort. Okay, now you know MA, yes, and you know load as well. What you have to find? You have to find effort. So effort is equal to how much? So effort is equal to load upon MA. Yes or no? Change the subject of the formula. Load upon MA. So effort is equal to how much is the load? 100. How much is the MA? MA is 19. So 100 divided by 19. So effort is equal to 100 divided by 19, 5.26. What will be the unit? The unit will be kgf. Yes or no? How much will be the unit? 100 divided by 19, that is 5.26 kgf. Clear, Aditya? So what is the least force which must be applied? So the least force is nothing but that's our effort. So we have to find out how much is the effort. We know MA. So MA is equal to load upon effort. निकाल लियो उसे झटपट. Yes or no? All of you getting it? Chalo. So, but you have to respond very fast. Huh? Chalo, no problem. You are taking some time to respond. It's okay. But be active and respond. Okay, chalo, let's solve one more now. Write down. A nut which can be broken which can be broken a nut which can be broken by applying a force of 40 kgf comma is broken by using a nutcracker having its handle of 20 centimeter long, comma, placing it at a distance of by placing it at a distance of 2 centimeter from the hinges. 2 centimeter from the hinge. Calculate the minimum force. Calculate the minimum force needed to break the nut. Quickly find it now. Okay, understand a nut which can be broken by applying a force of 40 kg is broken by using a nutcracker having its handle 20 centimeter long and by placing it at a distance of 2 centimeter from the hinge. Calculate the minimum force needed to break the nut. So we have to first understand what is given. So what is given? A nut can be broken. So how much is the load? So you will find that the load is coming out to be 40 kgf. Yes, that's your load, 40 kgf. Then is broken by using a nutcracker handle. So what is my handle? So if you remember the nutcracker is an example of class 2 lever. A nutcracker is an example of class 2 lever, and class 2 lever, the load is in between the fulcrum and the effort. So you remember that the 20 centimeter is actually the effort arm. The effort arm is 20 centimeter. And by placing it at a distance of 2 centimeters, so your load arm is the distance from the fulcrum to the load. So your load arm is 2 centimeter. Understand? You understand the diagram, beta? Your effort arm is 20 centimeter and your load arm is 2 centimeter. Your load is given and what is been asked? The effort is been asked. Exactly. चलो जल्दी से कर लो अभी आप पे बहुत बड़ी चीज नहीं है because I had written the given now. Okay. So I will draw the diagram, a rough diagram for nutcracker. So this is how your nutcracker will be. This is how your nutcracker is. This is how your nutcracker is. See, okay, and this is where assume the nut is being placed. This is the nut. This is the nut. Okay, so what it says? It says that its handle is 20 centimeter long. So this is the handle. So this handle is 20 centimeter long. So when this handle is 20 centimeter long, you will understand that it's your effort arm and it is placed at 2 centimeter from the hinges. So this distance is 2 centimeter. Okay. Understand? If you interpret the diagram properly, then it's very easy. So this is 20 centimeter and this distance is your 2 centimeter. Okay. Now you can do it. Okay, all of you are getting it now, but interpret the diagram better. It's a class 2 lever. Okay, if it is a class 1 lever, then everything would have changed, but it is not a class 1 lever, it's a class 2 lever. So you have to understand that this distance is 20 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, and then the nut is, that's the hinges, and it is placed here. So once your given is clear, yeah, all of you, those who are writing the answers, your answer is right. Very good. All of you are getting it right. Okay, so here we have seen, we have done with the lever part.